Hello there, and welcome to the very first episode of Shedmouth Junction, brought to you from the shed, funnily enough. This first episode is really going to be about why I'm here talking to my telephone in my shed, which to some people may be a little bit weird. Don't panic, I am kind of used to this now. I have another YouTube channel called TNI_RC, which is all about things you can see around me here, model cars and radio controlled stuff, which is kind of cool. It's my other hobby. But why Shedmouth Junction? What is this all about? Well, here today I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, what my plans are and why I'm here doing this. A bit of a long story. I'm not going to bore you to death completely with it. For the last, I don't know, 15 odd years, I spent my evenings and my days and my weekends racing RC model cars all around the countryside at various clubs during the week, and up to sort of regional level. Nothing spectacular. I'm not the best guy in the world at it, but I love it. It's a passion of mine from when I was a kid. Me and my brother, when we were really young, my dad used to have radio controlled cars with little cords on them, follow them around the room and that sort of thing. And as we've got older, it's a passion that's always been there. And so I still do it. I still race RC cars. To cut a very, very long story short, recently my personal life has changed quite a lot. I'm no longer able to race, which kind of left me a little bit deflated, shall we say. It's been my passion for such a long time as a hobby. Away from work, it's been absolutely great. A nice little get away from life, and great circle of friends I've gained in the model car racing world. But yeah, like I say, it has had to come to a rather sudden halt. I'm the kind of guy who likes to keep myself busy. I've got plenty of hobbies I love to crack on with, but I can only ever do one at a time due to the cost of things. You can never have 2 or 3 things on the go at once because the cost of hobbies these days is very, very expensive. So I'd like to say here and now, I've now retired completely from racing RC cars. I still have a few RCs which I'll bash around and have some fun with, but that's by the by. So I'm looking for inspiration into a new hobby, something I could do with my family at home and in the comfort of my garden shed. Now, I built this shed about just gone on for 12 months ago with the sole intention of having a nice 12-foot long workbench where I could tinker with the race cars, get them prepped for race weekends and so on and so forth. I could leave it all out and come back to it the next night and continue my work. Well, now I've stopped racing, this kind of bench has become a little bit redundant, poor thing. A lot of effort went into putting this together, a lot of money, which I'm forever indebted to, I think, to get this where it is today. And it's my little, I love it out here. So this kind of space has been a bit, not abandoned, but the purpose of it is kind of half gone, really. And so looking through the summer, springtime this year, thinking, what can I do to replace this hobby? And I'm a very nostalgic kind of chap, and I often hark back to days as a kid. Me and my brother spent a lot of time together in the holidays, summer holidays and Easter holidays and from school and that sort of thing. And we basically lived for models. I would say I've got a love of engines and cars and motorcycles, anything like that. And similar to my brother, he's got very similar kind of passions. And as kids, we've grown up on, like I say, RC cars. We both had Skelectric sets, both had Hornby train sets in our bedroom. And we weren't just talking little train sets, but they weren't little really, but they were kind of like fold away against the wall. So you could literally put them down on the hinge and you could play with it keep it out for 3 or 4 months and then put it away again. And we make our own little grass and scenery and stuff when we were little and that sort of thing. And as you get older, we kind of got into cars, motorbikes and that sort of thing, and that kind of hobby got put to one side. And as a young lad, probably about the age of about 12, 13, my parents for Christmas one year gave me this wonderful model, which is, I think every collector's got one of these in their collection somewhere. Every model railway fan's got one of these, the good old Flying Scotsman. This one is from the, like I say, the early 90s. Sadly, the motor's gone on this now, so it doesn't really do much. It needs a bit of love and care. But steam engines is probably one of my earlier passions in life. I love steam engines. I'm not into what you might call railways per se. I wouldn't like to say I'm not a train spotter, or I don't get excited over modern electric trains to a point, and it's all right. But what really interests me is the engineering, and the engineering in steam locomotives especially. I think they're absolutely amazing pieces of kit, and yeah, it really, really impressive. Like I say, I'm very nostalgic, and I like anything old. And steam engines really float my boat from a very, very early age. And this model has been with me for so many years now, and I love it to pieces. Even though it doesn't really work anymore, it's been a massive passion. And then start this year, it was announced that Flying Scotsman would be coming through my hometown of Sandwich. So for me, after 30 odd years of waiting, I was finally going to see the real thing. And so I asked my boss if I could nip out to I work in my hometown, and I asked my boss if I could nip down to the level crossing and watch the Scotsman come through. And it was supposed to be a half an hour out of work. It ended up being 2.5 hours because it was delayed. But getting to see this engine in reality for the first time in my life after all these years of waiting, wow, blew my mind. It blew my mind, and it was one of them things I wanted to see with my own eyes and not just through a camera, you know. So I propped my camera on the fence post and left it on the video mode and let it just film the thing going through while I looked at it with my own eyes. It's taken this long to see it. I don't know if I'll ever see it again, especially coming through my hometown, which was just incredible, absolutely beautiful. And that really inspired me straight away that this could, you know, rekindle old passions of steam that I had, and maybe some kind of hobby. And then obviously one thing leads to another. We sit out here with cups of tea and I think about stuff, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could make a model railway in the new shed? So right there is where Shedmouth Junction is going to be coming alive. Okay, so this is a new thing for me. Model railways have changed a lot since I was a kid. You know, like I say, I haven't had one for a best part of 30 odd years. So I've looked around at stuff, and my God, it's changed, hasn't it? We've got this thing called DCC, and we've got, what's this all about? You know, digital controlling and automated systems and the like. Wow, it's a different world away, and it's certainly going to be a lot to learn. Especially as I'm no expert on locomotives and classes of locomotives and that sort of thing. I love them to pieces, but I'm no guru on it. You know, I spent most of my life playing with cars and motorcycles. So, but I'm really excited by this. Really excited. I'm learning new stuff all the time, and it's not only just the modelling aspect of it, but I can't wait to bring something to life. You know, I'm looking forward to that. A whole new challenge, and so. I've put some ideas down on paper. I've got an idea where I want to be going with it, I think. I'm happy to be persuaded otherwise by you guys if you've got any suggestions for what I could do in a 12x8 shed. At first I thought, you know, just an end-to-end, quite happily. Initially as an end-to-end. I took a visit to the Hornby Visitor Centre. Can't even say that. Hornby Visitor Centre. There you go. And totally inspired by what they have there. You know, not the best layouts in the world, but it was certainly a big eye-opener as to what could be achieved in quite a small space. So now I'm thinking a full lap of the shed would be quite nice. Double main line, branch line, a few things. Initially in my head I'm thinking I just want to scenic one side and have the opposite side as like a fiddle yard, if you like. So lots of ideas in my head, and over the forthcoming weeks, months, I will hopefully be portraying my views across the internet for everyone to probably completely disagree with me and tell me I'm doing things stupidly wrong. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of fun. I'd like to think that some of you guys out there would join me in the journey a little bit and point me in the direction of rights when I go wrong. And any help and advice is always well received, and I very much appreciated, of course. Yeah, so initially it's going to be a long process. You know, I haven't got pots of money laying around to do this. I'm going to have to sell some of my collection of cars to fund a lot of this. But I mean, I built this workbench that I'm sitting at now. It's a monster of a workbench. You could put a motorcycle on here and it wouldn't collapse. It's really sturdy stuff. And I'm going to replicate this across the other side and around the shed. Leave room at the door so I can get out, and that'd be a good start. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting lots of inspiration from guys on YouTube, various channels, and I'll obviously update you with things as it goes along. I'm not going to sit here right now and bore you to death. I know from experience from my other YouTube channel that just sitting here talking at people can be quite boring. People want to see interaction and see things happening and develop. So, but yeah, so for now, I'd say welcome along, and feel free to like and subscribe to the channel to see how things develop. And okay, so yeah, look forward to seeing you soon. Tune in again. Thank you very much.